Hello my dear students, welcome back. So in the previous class you have learnt the expression that is a derivation of the potential energy kept in an uniform external electric field, correct? Electric dipoles expression, using electric dipole you have found. So in today's class we will go for the concept called electrostatic shielding. The word shielding, what it says for you? What you can think about? Shield is something to protect we are shielding it, correct? So shielding means, electrostatic shielding means it is a one kind of the protector, okay, or I can say cavity inside the conductor. See, if we are having a conductor, we are having one conductor, we will think, okay. Conductor is charged, charges are present, always charges will be residing on the surface of the conductor, not inside the conductor. So inside the conductor, charges are not there. We will say charges are residing on the surface of the conductor. So we can say the surface charge density inside the conductor is 0. Surface charge density is nothing but charge per unit area. Inside the conductor, surface charge density is 0. Next, that is about the surface charge density. Next one I want to speak about is electric field. What about the electric field inside the conductor? Inside the conductor, electric field is also 0. But potential inside the conductor is constant. These are the concepts which you have already learnt in previous classes, correct? Just recalling. So if we have a charged conductor, charges always reside on the surface of the conductor. Inside the conductor, surface charge density is 0. Electric field is also 0, but potential is constant. So inside the conductor, this forms a cavity. Just like a small cavity, cavity means a region where it forms like a small region where surface charge density is 0, electric field is 0, but potential is always constant. So I can say whatever the electric fields from outside is also present will not go inside this charged conductor. Since it formed a cavity, we call this as electrostatic shielding. No external electric field will enter into this. So what we can say, the charges always, since they reside on the surface of the conductor, the field inside the cavity of the conductor is always shielded. It remains 0 electric field inside the conductor. It remains shielded. So this one is called as electrostatic shielding. So this is very, very important question. What do you mean by electrostatic shielding? Electrostatic shielding means the field inside the cavity of the conductor is always 0. Field inside the cavity of conductor is 0 and it remains shielded. It remains shielded from the influence of the electric field, outside influence of electric field. Electric field. So field inside the cavity of the conductor is 0 and it remains shielded from outside influence of the electric field. This is called electrostatic shielding. Is there any use because of Electrostatic shielding, yes. The application of the electrostatic shielding is you can protect some of the sensitive electronic devices. Like you don't want any external electric field to fall on those electronic devices, some electronic sensitive components. Sensitive components or electronic devices can be protected from the electric influence. You don't want any external electric field to fall on that device. Then what you have to do, you have to take that device and place it inside the conductor which is charged. So inside the charged conductor, if you place those device, no external electric field will fall inside that, because inside the conductor, the charged conductor electric field is 0. Surface charge density is 0 and potential is always constant. It remains shielded from the electric influence. This is a very, very important question for either 1 mark or 2 mark. 1 mark question is, what do you mean by electrostatic shielding? 2 mark question means write the application will include along with that. Application is, it is used to save the sensitive components or electronic devices can be placed. Next concept is about the dielectrics. What do you mean by dielectrics? Dielectrics. Dielectric means it is a non-conducting substance. Non-conducting substance. Dielectric is a non-conducting substance. It is not a conducting substance. It is a non-conducting substance. Can we make this dielectric as a conducting substance? Yes, it is called polarization. Okay. So polarization means you are making this dielectric as a conducting substance. You can make it conducting substance. Next. Now the next question is, do you know something about polar molecules? Yes, you have learned it in your chemistry, right? Polar molecules. What do you mean by polar molecules? Polar molecules means it is a molecule in which the centers of the positive and negative charges are separated. There will be 2 poles. So I can say polar molecules means the center of the positive and negative charges will be separated. There will be a permanent dipole moment in a polar molecule. Permanent dipole moment. Example, HCl, NH3, correct? Then H2O, correct? These are the examples for polar molecules. What do you mean by a non-polar molecule? Non-polar molecule is a molecule in which the centers of positive and negative charges will be coincided. They will not be separated, they will be coincided. So, since they are not separated, the poles are not separated, we can say there will be no permanent dipole moment. They are not having permanent dipole moment. Can you give me one example for the non-polar molecule? H2, N2, correct? O2, etc. These are the example for non-polar molecules. So can we make this dielectric as a conducting substance? We call yes, we said it as yes, and it is called as polarization. Polarization of the dielectrics. So I will come, why did we speak about the polar molecule? Because they now see here they are having permanent dipole moment, but here there is no permanent dipole moment. Can we make it have some dipole moment? What it means, we will learn it later. Okay. Now, dielectrics, polarization of a dielectric. Polarization of a dielectric. When a dielectric substance is kept in an external electric field, when a dielectric substance is placed in an external electric field, what happens? They have zero dipole moment. Is it so? No. When a dielectric is placed, when this dielectric is placed in an external electric field, it experiences a torque. Some kind of attraction will be there because of the external electric field, and therefore this dipoles will start rotating. Since it starts rotating means there occurs a torque. When a dielectric is placed in an external electric field, the dipoles experiences a torque and they align themselves in a particular direction. When they align themselves in a particular direction, there exists the dipole. The dipole moment will be induced in the dielectric. What happens? When the dielectric is placed in an external electric field, it influences or there exists a torque. What is happening? When a dielectric is placed in an external electric field, dipole experiences a torque and align themselves in one particular direction. When they align in one particular direction, what happens? Dipole moment is induced. Then dipole moment will be induced. This phenomenon is known as the polarization of the dielectric, or this is known as the polarization of the dielectric. One important question. What do you mean by polarization of a dielectric? Polarization of a dielectric means when a dielectric is placed in an external electric field, it experiences a torque and aligns itself in one particular direction or aligns itself in the direction of the electric field. There exists, because of this, a dipole moment will be induced. This is known as the polarization of the dielectric. The polar dielectrics, there are two dielectrics. Polar molecules, they have permanent dipole moment, we said. The next question is, just now we spoke, see here, we spoke about polar and non-polar, okay. Polar molecule, we said it is having a permanent dipoles, correct? Okay. If there is no electric field present, electric field is 0, okay. Even though the electric field is 0 and there are two poles, see here, there is a substance, it is a permanent dipole, polar molecule, okay. Permanent dipole moment will be there, fine, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, minus, plus, okay. This is one of the substance with the polar molecules, okay. Here external electric field is 0. We said they are having permanent dipole moment, correct? Okay. But All these molecules are randomly oriented. They are not aligned in one particular direction. Therefore, since they are not aligned in one particular direction, we can say the net dipole moment is 0. In case of a polar molecule, if external electric field is 0, net dipole moment is 0. Net dipole moment is 0. Whereas in case of a non-polar molecule, however, they are having non-polar molecule, the positive and negative charges are coincided, okay. But if electric field is 0, now what happens? If electric field is 0, again it will be on its own. However, there will be no net dipole moment. Here also net dipole moment is 0. Instead of this, I'll give some electric field. Okay, after giving some electric field, E is now not equal to 0. If there is an electric field, they will start aligning themselves in one particular direction. How will they align? In one particular direction they will align. Correct? And now I can say there is some there is a dipole moment. Net dipole moment is present. It is not equal to 0. Whereas in this case, if there is an external electric field, E is not equal to 0. There is some external electric field. If E is equal to 0, external electric field is 0. Okay, now there is some external electric field. What happens? They will try to align themselves. They'll try to move like this. Correct? One side is positively charged, another side is negatively charged. Okay, so positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. They'll also align them. They'll separate from the coincided place and align themselves in one particular direction. Now there will be a dipole moment. Net dipole moment is present. So both in case of polar and non-polar molecule, if the electric field is 0, net dipole moment is 0. But for individual molecule, there will be a dipole moment in case of a polar molecule. Here there will be no dipole moment for individual molecule in a case of non-polar molecule. But when the electric field is present, electric field is not equal to 0, it will align themselves in one particular direction and there will be some dipole moment. So net dipole moment here there is present. They'll have net dipole moment. Here the net dipole moment is also present when electric field is present. Both the case, if the electric field is present, there will be some net dipole moment. Next, the next concept which I want to speak about is the dielectric strength. What do you mean by dielectric strength? You know what is dielectric. What is dielectric strength? Dielectric means it is a non-conducting substance. Then what is dielectric strength? Dielectric strength, it is nothing but maximum electric field that a dielectric medium can withstand. Maximum electric field that a dielectric can withstand. Maximum electric field that a dielectric can withstand without any breakdown. or ionization without any breakdown. So dielectric strength is nothing but maximum electric field that a dielectric can withstand without any breakdown. How much it can withstand? Above that, it cannot withstand this external electric field. Now the next question. Air, is it a conducting substance or a non-conducting substance? If air is a conducting substance, then the place where you are standing, you should feel the shock, electric shock, because wherever you switch on the powers, there exists the electric field. Then, now see, when you switch it on, if the air is a conducting substance, that electric energy should come near you also, but it is not coming. So there will be no shock for you. So I can say air is not a conducting substance, air is a non-conducting substance. Or else I can say air is a dielectric substance. So the dielectric strength of air is also having a dielectric strength. That means it can withstand maximum electric field. Above that, still you send the electric field, then there will be some, you can feel the electric shocks. What is that dielectric strength of air? The dielectric strength of air is 3 into 10 to the power 6 volt per meter. 3 into 10 to the power 6 volt per meter. This is the dielectric strength of the air. Next, the concept what we are moving for is capacitors. Have you seen the TVs, computers and all? You can see the capacitors over there. There are different types of capacitors present. Few of the capacitors, there will be a positive and negative legs. In a few of the capacitors, there will be no positive and negative legs. What do you mean by a capacitor? What is the use of capacitor? So capacitors and capacitance is the next concept. Capacitors and capacitance. What do you mean by capacitors? A capacitor is a system of two conducting substance with the dielectric medium between them. If the two capacitors is nothing but a system of two conducting substances, system of two conducting substances with a dielectric medium or with separated by an insulator which is used to store the charges. It is a system of two conducting substances with with a dielectric medium, or is a system of two conducting substance separated by an insulator. Separated by an insulator between them. What do you mean by insulator? Its conductance is it in between that of the conductors and insulator? No, conductance is very, very low. So, system of two conducting substances separated by an insulator or separated by the dielectric medium in between them. So, because dielectric medium is nothing but a non-conducting substance, insulator is also a non-conducting substance. Now the next question is, what is the use of capacitor? Is there any use of capacitor? Yes, the capacitor is used to store the energies. What is the use of capacitors? It is used to store the electric charges or energies. you can store the electric charges or energies in case of the capacitors. Next, the next question, the electric potential of a capacitor or electric field in a region between the conductors is proportional to the charge. Electric field V, if electric field is present with the electric field V, it is always proportional to the amount of the charge present. So I can say the potential of the capacitor V Before explaining this, I will say one concept here. See here, system of two conducting substance separated by an insulator, it is written. So two substances are there. They are conducting substance. In between there is a non-conducting substance. But since this is a conducting substance and this is also conducting substance, there will be an electric field in between. In between them there will be an electric field, and that electric field is proportional to the amount of charges present in the conducting plates. If the conducting plates are having more number of charges, then the potential between the plates will be more. Once again I will say, capacitors is nothing but system of two conducting substances. System of two conducting substances. System of two conducting substances separated by an insulator. Okay. Now we will say the insulator medium is air. These are the two conducting substances separated by an insulator. Let it be air. Even though there is an insulator, this is a conducting substance. This is also a conducting substance. Conducting substance means there will be the charges. Correct? There will be charges in both the substances. Because of these charges, whenever there is a charge present, there will be an electric field because of that charge. So in between this, there will be an electric field. That electric field, how much amount of electric field is present? That is depending upon the number of charges present on these plates, and that electric field we speak as V. That electric field is directly proportional to the amount of charges present. So V is proportional to the Q, or we can say Q is equal to Vc. Q is equal to Vc, where C is the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitors or capacitance of the capacitors. So C is a constant. To remove the proportional, we are giving one constant, that is C, called capacitance of the capacitor. What do you mean by capacitor then? Capacitor is a system of two conducting substance separated by the dielectric medium or by an insulator. So we are using these capacitors to store the charges or energies. When there are two conducting substance and a dielectric medium in between them, insulator in between them, then I can say because of the two conductors there will be because of the conductors means there will be a charges present. Because of the charges present on the conductor, there will be the electric field. That electric field here represented as V. It depends upon the number of charges present. If more number of charges present, more potential energy. If less number of charges are present, less electric field or potential. What do you say? Correct? So electric field is proportional to, or electric field in the region between the conductors, it is proportional to, electric field is proportional to the amount of charges present. To remove this proportional, we have to give one constant, that is C. Q is equal to Vc, where C is a capacitance of the capacitor. Now we came to this word called capacitance. Capacitance of the capacitor, but this is independent of the potential and charges. This term is independent. C is independent of charge and potential. It is not depending upon that is having some constant. Next, the SI unit of capacitance is farad. Farad. SI unit of capacitance is farad, capital letter F. Okay, that is the SI unit of the capacitance of the capacitor. How can we draw a capacitor in a diagram? When we, in our electronics or physics, we draw the diagrams with the help of some symbols. We can draw this symbol of this capacitor is like this. See, when you draw the capacitor, see, you know how to draw the diagram of a battery. How to draw the diagram of the battery? One long, short, long, short, long, short lines with a horizontal line. Correct? But capacitor, only two lines you can draw. Battery also you can draw two lines. Correct? But one is a longer line, another one should be, a vertical line should be small. But here for capacitor, both the lines should be of the same height, then one horizontal line. Instead of this, when you draw the diagram in exam, by mistake, one line is long, another one is short, then it is not a capacitor, it becomes battery. So when you draw the diagram of a capacitor, the diagram should be two equal lines, same height. Understood? This is the symbol of the capacitor. Symbol of the variable capacitor. Variable capacitor means you can vary the capacitance of the capacitor. That capacitor is same two lines with the cross line, one arrow mark like this. This is the symbol of the variable capacitor. Next, one small derivation. So this is the symbol of the capacitor. This is the symbol of the variable capacitor. So after drawing this, better to write on C. Okay, C. Next, one small derivation. Derivation for the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Expression for the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor. Capacitance is given by the letter C. And the SI unit of the capacitance is farad, F. Okay. So expression for, very important derivation for 5 marks. Expression for the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor with the air as dielectric medium between them. With air as dielectric medium between the plates. Okay. We are going to derive the expression for the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor with the air as dielectric medium between them or between plates. Let us consider a capacitor, two plates. Let us consider two parallel plates, conducting plates with a dielectric medium between them. Okay? With a dielectric medium between them. They are separated by the distance small letter d. What we have done? Let us consider two parallel plate capacitor of area A. Okay, directly now itself we'll consider. Let us consider a parallel plate capacitors with the area A. And separation between the two plates is D with a dielectric medium air. So the permittivity of the free space is given by epsilon naught. Okay, we'll speak about this epsilon naught later. I'll say why we have used this epsilon naught, because you are going to help me. Let plus q and minus q be the charges present on the two plates. Okay, in this plate the charges present is plus q. In this place the charge present is minus q. Okay, the charges present on the two plates is plus q and minus q. Because of these charges, electric field is developed and it is given by the letter E. Let me mark it as first plate and second plate. Okay, first plate and second plate. Since the charges are present on the surface of the conductor, the surface charge density is given by sigma is equal to q by A. Sigma is equal to q by A, and for the second plate minus for first plate. For second plate minus sigma is equal to q by A. Why? The charge is minus q. That is, I am just mentioning to it for our reference. Okay. So the charge present on the first one is plus, second one is minus. So sigma, surface charge density is sigma is equal to plus q by A, and second plate it is minus q by A, or minus sigma is equal to q by A. You have to go for the concept of the first chapter. That in first chapter we spoke about the using Gauss law, application of Gauss law. Second sheet we have used, correct? In that sheet is just like this plate. So what is the electric field in a region 1 or region above the plate? I'll call this as first region. Region above the plate. Electric field in a region, outer region, that is above the plate 1. Electric field in outer region first. What is the expression for electric field? Outer region, expression for the electric field, what we got is the two directions, this direction and this direction, electric field. See there, in the first chapter, we said the expression for the electric field in this direction and this direction, there will be two, and the angle between them we said 180. See, the angle is not 180, since the direction is opposite, the electric fields are having 0. Cos 0 is 1. If it is 180, it will become minus. Which derivation I am speaking about? The second derivation, that is of Gauss law's application. In plain sheet, using expression for the electric